YouTube.com/Tim Westwood TV.
Tim Westwood TV, up at the crib session, my good friend Castillo, fam.
Well,
Congratulations, fam.
Thank you for that, man.
Thank you, fam. We weren't quite sure of the handshake,
I know,
were we?
I was trying to
we
see
ain't
where
like,
you was going with it.
how fly we're
I
going
was
to
trying
be.
to see where you was going with
I
it.
didn't quite know where you were going.
You travelled, innit? You gone to America and all that. I don't know what they're doing out there.
Like,
Yeah.
Some magic fingers. But fam, congratulations on the gram. The gram
Thank you
is
for that,
popping.
man. Thank you for that.
Respect that.
I know I made it now because you invited me here, so it's all good.
Family. Like, the gram is popping. You're making music.
Yeah.
Doing your thing, man,
Yeah.
and we really respect it.
Thank you for that.
And the gram, one of the things with the gram is the realness.
Yeah.
Because that's true life advice you're giving.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And you go in on your perspective. And your perspective, what would you describe it as? Like a bad man perspective?
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. That's like everything that I talk about in my videos, that's like me. So like when I talk about being cheated on, like that's real. When I talk about all this other shit, that's real. So when I tell someone like, oh, she's probably doing this, that really happens. Like I used to see a ghost. Funny enough, she like lives local to around there. I used to see her years ago. And basically, I thought she was like proper into me, and she was. But then like, we started like, I don't know what happened, like last year, we just started chatting again, this randomly out the blue. And this girl told me she's cheating on me with bare guys, blood. Like she told me like at the time, she was seeing like about 2 other guys. So that times when I thought she was like fully into me, she was seeing over 2 other dudes, and I was
so
like, yo.
a lot of it is personal experience.
All of it's personal experience, yeah, all of it's personal experience. Because the thing is, I think, even like, it's easy to get caught up in it. So like, now that I'm been through it and I can see it, so like I was seeing a girl like a few years ago, and like, I was really trying to get with her, and she was like, literally, just the nicest thing I've ever seen. But basically, I don't know what it was. When I got with her, I was like all in it. So like, literally, she was fucking making me go on walks and shit, like, to walk the dog and all that shit. I was doing all this mad shit, and the thing is, I didn't want to do none of it, innit? But at the same time, I just really liked her. So I was like, yo, if we want to walk like 3 miles and shit just to do that shit, we'll do that, yeah? And then literally, I finally got with her, but then after that, I just thought to myself, like, yo, like, I found out she'll see somebody else in it. So I was like, yo, I was doing all this fucking walking shit for nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? So now when people send me advice, like, oh, like the maddest thing, like, I was doing this, or I was doing this, or my girl's doing this. Somebody messaged me, like, last year about how her man was like cross-dressing, and she walked in and he was wearing like her knickers and that. Like real shit. I didn't know people really went through that, but like people really go through that shit.
So
I know I went all the way around the it, but I just had to
I feel you, family. I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. And that's the realness of it, man. And you cut through and just speak the truth.
Yeah, you got
And
it.
I think a lot of men can relate to that.
The thing is, I think a lot of dudes can relate to it, because I think, I don't know, like I think a lot of guys, I didn't even realize a lot of guys don't even know how to talk to a woman. Like I get people messaging me like, like I got this girl at work, like literally, how do I start talking to her? And I'm like, you just got to say hi in it. And sometimes I don't know, because I look nervous. I'm like, if you do that shit, you're going to look like some kind of sex offender, bro, if you do all this nervous shit. So just say hi, do this. Some guys just need to know in it. Some otherwise, like literally, they'll just fuck it up. Like I used to do the same thing. Like when I was younger, I used to like this chick in my high school. I think her name was like Sharon or something, yeah? And I thought to myself, let me see how I can get this girl. So I went prom and I went Argos. I got my mum to give me some money, so I bought a chain from Argos, yeah? It was like a £15 chain. I bought it to her at prom. I didn't bring it to her, I was nervous. And I asked some guy like, yo, bring that to Sharon for me. He bought it to her. She took that shit and he came back, and I was like, yo, what did she say? And he's like, she said thank you. And I'm like, oh, for real? She said thank you for real? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, so like, what else did she say? And he's like, nothing, man. She didn't say nothing. She's like in there dancing with somebody else. I was like, yo. I literally walked home in my like prom outfit, no lie.
No.
In the rain, bruv. Like, you think it's funny, but like, that literally bothered me for time.
I mean, it happens, family. It happens. So would you say your game is like, you know, like as a pimp, really?
Do you know what? I can't even lie to you. Like literally, like I tone it down enough in it, but like before, not even Instagram don't do nothing for me. Instagram just like shows me to more people, but before Instagram, I was just running through things. Like, you know, there's some event called Jump Off.
Yes.
Like when I used to go Jump Off, at a time I seen like about 11 different girls in there, and I got caught by every single one of them in like 2 weeks. And one time I went there, I was seeing some girl. She was like, I was seeing some girl, and she was like, it's like a square in it. So like, I was seeing one girl that was across from me, one girl to the right, one girl to the left, one was behind, and then even some next girl. Like,
it's a good feeling, isn't it? It's a good feeling.
It was kind of, yeah, but you know the thing is that I was seeing some girl outside of that, and that day she came to the Jump Off, but the girl that she came with was some girl I didn't see, the girl that she came with I never used to see, but me and her went on a date. So then all the shit started happening around that time, so all of them caught me. So one went to the bathroom, and the other one went to the bathroom. She's like, oh, I noticed you keep on looking at that guy, how'd you know him? And she's like, oh, that's my boyfriend. And the other one's like, oh, for real, that's my boyfriend. And then literally, once I started seeing things started getting heavy, like literally, I literally just got the fuck out. I literally just rolled the fuck out. And then literally, I think Richard Blackwood was there in that day as well, like literally. So I was like, that's how I remember it so well. Because as soon as I ducked the fuck out, I saw Richard and he's like, yo, and you? And I was like, nah, man, I'm going home.
I'm done.
And then literally, what ended up happening, and I'm getting messages from all of them saying, so you're seeing this girl. And then another girl I was seeing outside of that was friends with somebody in there. So then she started telling other people. And it was literally this, every single thing I had, this 11 just gone, bruv. 11 things I had this
Yeah, you can check into Heartbreak Hotel pretty fast.
No, I wasn't heartbroken. Like, literally, I was just like, yo, I lost 11
dead.
things, bruv.
You
Yeah,
were
literally, I lost
dead.
11
You were
things.
just dead.
The thing is, one.
Yeah,
and
you
like,
can't get shut
thing,
down.
yeah, like literally, and the thing is, like, I like fucking in it. So, like, literally, I have to, like, fuck, like, at least 4 to 5 times a week. So at the time, like literally,
This is day job really for
no,
you.
do you know what? I didn't have a job in it, so like literally, I didn't have a job in it, so that was my job. Like the maddest thing is like after I was doing that shit, I started looking at my life like, yo, what am I actually doing here? So what I'd do, one thing would come in the morning, yeah. No, sorry. This is how it works. So say for example, I've gone out somewhere. Yeah, I'd call a chick up like, yeah, I'm heading back home now. Meet me at this station or whatever. So like, I'd be like, meet me in Ealing Broadway. So I meet them at Ealing Broadway, got together. So chick I've seen, one of the things I've seen. We go together, went home, slept together, and then what I'd tell her, I'd lie to her and be like, yo, I got work tomorrow. I didn't even have a job. Like literally, I was literally had no fucking job, bruv. So like, she would leave my house in the morning, and around about 12:01, a new thing would come. So then the new thing would come.
That's the afternoon session.
Yeah. So then she would come, and then I would tell her like, oh, yo, I got to do evening work because I also did like nightclub bouncing, like at one point in it. So like at the nightclub, so I was like, I got to go. But then I'd walk her to the station, like say Ealing Broadway station or whatever. She'd go home, then I'd meet the next thing, and then she'd sleep at the house. So all in all, it'd be like a different.
Oh really? So like 8-hour shifts really?
Yeah, basically, yeah, with no job. Like so,
Yeah.
then literally, I only started realizing like, yo, this is actually kind of dead when, like, my boy was like, yo, you're like the sickest guy with no job, and I started thinking, I was like, that's not really a compliment though, innit? Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm seeing all these things and doing all this different shit, yeah. I ain't got no peas. But at the same time, this when people tell me you need money for girls, you don't need no money for girls.
No, you need
don't
game.
You just need game. And just dress nice and
swag.
look
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Like most of the guys I know that get the most things, most of them guys sign on, they're in job centers. Most of them. The guys I know with the nicest things, they don't got job centers.
I mean, let's not front. Your hair game is incredible.
Yeah.
You got better hair than most chicks I know, to be honest. I was like, better hair, baby.
Yeah.
What is the mix which gives you that?
Basically, this is the funniest thing. See, I'll get deep with you. Like, so basically, my mum's black from Dominica, and dad's Indian from Grenada.
Oh, right.
I met I'm not raised by my biological parents. I'm raised by my grandmother. My biological parents, they had a one-night stand. They're both crackheads. Like, they're legit crackheads. They got schizophrenia. So they had a one-night stand in Ealing, yeah? And they had me. But the funniest thing is, I was taken away from my real mum because she couldn't take care of me because she was schizophrenic. So, like, literally, my grandmother raised me. And then what we did, first thing we did, social services wanted to take me away. So what she did, she basically kidnapped me and took me to Dominica so they couldn't take me. And she's a grandmother in it. So at the time, I think she would have been like 50s, I think. So they wouldn't let her take care of me. So she brought me to Dominica, came back up here, left me a family, and I was raised there for like 9 years. I was born at Ealing Hospital, but she stayed there for a while and then came back up. But the thing is, when I came back up, she told me, oh, I'm not your mum. Would you like to meet your mum? I met my mum, and I looked at her and I was like, no, I don't like her. That was it. I was like, I don't like her. And then I was like, you're my mum. Known you for 9 years. You're my mum. So that was it.
Yeah.
But then fast forward years and years and years and years on, I got 2 half brothers. So when I met my 2 half brothers, like 16 or whatever, I thought their dad was my dad. Their dad's like white and Mauritian.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but one of them looks like Asian and the other one just looks light skinned. So then I thought, easy fit, innit? That could be my dad in it because he's just like an Indian dude. So I thought to myself, okay. And then I think on like the 23rd Christmas, one of my brothers was at my house and he's like, oh, we're going to dad's for like the after Christmas dinner bit. Yeah. And I was like, yo, can I come? And they're like, nah, man, you can't come. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was like, it was moving funny in it. So I was like, ah. And then they left and I asked my mum, my gran, I was like, how come you don't want me to come to the house? I don't understand. Like, I want to go see, like, he could be my dad. And at the time, I thought he was my dad and they didn't say he was or he wasn't. So I was like, and then she told me straight up, she's like, oh, the reason they don't want you to come is because that's not your dad. So I was like, ah. I was like, who's my dad? And she's like, I'll find out for you and I'll let you know. And I'll let you know. So literally 2 months after, she told me, she was like, oh, I found your dad. Would you like to meet him? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. Why not? So then her, my mum, and my biological mum, we literally went to Greenford because I lived in Gurnell Estate at the time. So like literally Greenford's like 10 minutes up the road. She's like, your dad lives there. And she's like, we're gonna go there tomorrow. But we're going there tomorrow. But on that same day, she's like, you also got a sister, and I've passed the number to you. So I've passed the number to her. So then I got a call that night, the day before I was meant to meet my dad, and I got a call from my sister, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm your sister. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And she's like, I'm not sure what you're looking for, if you're looking for a dad or whatever. I'm like, no, I don't really give a shit about that, but I just want to see what the guy looks like. And she's like, yeah, before like you meet him, there's a few things that you need to know. He just come out of prison. She's like, he's been in prison for 7 years. And then she goes, what he did, I won't say what he did, but like it was serious. Like,
yeah, seven
like,
bids. Yeah.
There's only like a few things. There's only a few things. Like, what do you think the worst thing is next to murder?
Oh, this is some sex offences.
Yeah. So there you go. So like literally, that's what it was. And she goes, Google him. And I Googled it and I was like, yo, that's like my dad for real. And she's like, I have to tell you that because obviously you don't know, like you don't know what you're gonna go in with, innit? So I was like, she's like, now you know that at least you have like a full story. And I was like, so what, he did that? And she's like, she goes, I don't personally believe he did that, but at the same time, that's not for me to tell you. It's up for you to decide. And then it was a big story. It was on the news, innit? And funny enough, years ago, I actually remember watching it on the news when I was in high school. Not high school, but like, if it was 7 years before at the time, I remember seeing it on the news. But basically, like, I saw him. Then the next day, I went to Greenford, and then I went up the stairs. It was basically, funny enough, I went to Cardinal Wiseman in Greenford, Cardinal Wiseman High School. But basically, went up there. It was right by the shops, by the bus stop where I always used to catch us to go home. So I went inside, knocked on the door, and some dude opened the door. There was some hench fucking black dude.
Serious?
I was like, yo, this guy's scary as fuck. But I want my dad in it. It was just some next dude. So when they come out of jail, that's the place they put people.
Right,
like,
the halfway house, yeah.
Yeah, so it was there. So I was like, what the fuck? So then he was like, your dad's inside there. So I was like, So I went inside there, and he come out, and there was an Asian dude. It was like an Indian dude, like grey hair. Like he had like, he's got like green eyes, but his eyes is like grey because like when you smoke crack, like the shit burns out your eyes. So I was
yellow
like,
teeth, everything.
Yeah, so like literally I saw him and I was like, yo, first thing, at that point I wasn't even thinking like, bro, like my dad's Indian. I was thinking, yo, like this is actually my dad for real. And then the weirdest thing about him, when I met him, in terms of voice, he's got like a weird voice, but it's like husky. So it's like, he's got one of them voices. It's like, hi Joe, like that. So I was like, okay, he's got like, maybe I get where I get my bit of my voice from. It's a bit husky. So I was like, So we went inside and started talking to him, and then I couldn't see. My sister told me like he's like on drugs and shit. So, but first off of the conversation, you'd never think he was on drugs. He was so normal. He had like a tat on his neck that said Angel in it or whatever. And I was like, oh shit, so you're my dad? And he's like, yeah. But I didn't feel nothing. Like I didn't feel like no resentment towards him because obviously this is the weirdest thing. He found out about me the day that I found out about him. So he only found out about me when my gran went to say you got a son. And when she went up to him on a bus and she's like, oh, excuse me, is your name this? And he was like. And she's like, is your name this? You have, and she asked him his name, and he grabbed my grandma and he threw her in the corner of the bus. I wasn't there, she just told me. He grabbed her and he threw her in the corner of the bus and ran off the bus. I'm not sure why, maybe he was like high or something, but like literally. So he found out about me in that instance, because she must have said, is your name this? You've got a son, blah, 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 blah.
So your gran just recognised him randomly?
No, my gran knew he was.
Oh,
she
right.
didn't she just never told me, because she never wanted to tell me like, this is what your story is, isn't it? Because obviously she raised me from like a little kid, so she didn't want to tell me nothing that could fuck me up. So she didn't tell me nothing. So she told me about, she wasn't my mum at 9, so I was old enough. Then she told me about my dad when I was old enough. So she felt like, you're old enough to kind of know the full story.
As tragic as the story is, and it is a tragic story, but it's not like your dad was in a position to do any.
I can't blame him for that. No,
you know, if he's out there on drugs, then he's in
I
prison.
could never blame him for that, because at the end of the day, it's like, I'll be real with you. Like, if I saw a ting and I had a one night stand with a ting, like, and then she got pregnant, like, I might you might just fucking disappear. It's just not in a fucked up way, but it's like you meet somebody out, you two have sex and you bounce, and then 20 years later somebody tells you got a kid. You're not. It's not really your fault in it. Do you know what I mean? And at the same time, even if you knew, a part of you could be like, yo, I didn't even bargain for this. This was just somebody that I linked after maybe this and that, and then I'm gone.
But you are meant to step up and do the right thing in those situations. You are meant to step up and do the right thing. Of course, but at the same time,
it's one of them ones where it's like, it's not even a thing where you might have even known each other. Because it's literally been a one night thing and you bounce. So it's one of them ones where it's like, in your mind, you're thinking, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? So when I met him, I didn't blame him for that. But there's a funny story about that. When I met him, it was one of them ones where I met him and then I went to his room, and then this one I knew that he was actually like a real full-blown, like,
crackhead.
Yeah, well, he said to me, he goes to me, he looked at me and he's like, He's like, you're good looking. And I said, oh, thank you for that. And he goes, and it's nice. He goes, and he looks at me, he looks at my hair and he goes, you got nicer hair than me. And I was like, yeah, probably get from you though, innit? And he's like, then he looked at me and said, yeah, you got hair like this prostitute woman that I see. And I was like, what the fuck, man? He's like, yeah, some woman I see up the road is like a prostitute, she got hair just like you. And I was like, yo, this is weird shit. And then it was weird, like when I met him, I didn't feel like no father figure things because my grand is my mum and my dad, so I don't really give a shit about that. But it's interesting to see because I was like, yo, like, so this is my... I remember back in high school, people used to be like, oh, where you from, man? Why's your hair like that? I used to be like, bruv, I'm from Hawaii, man. Like, literally, I just make up shit. I used to make up bare shit. And another guy asked me, he's like, where you from? I'm like, Sri Lankan, blood. Like, I used to lie to people.
Might as well.
That's because I didn't know in it, but obviously I was just taking a piss. But like, when I met him, I was just like, it's nice. It's like a nice thing to meet him to see what he looks like. And after that, I got my name changed. So my name is my name was Joseph Moulon. Yeah.
And that was after your gran?
Yeah, but that's through my gran through marriage. My gran's actual real name is, she's a Bruno.
And then did you take your gran's name?
No. This is the thing. I would have taken my gran's name, but my gran's a Bruno. She's Frank Bruno's auntie. Frank Bruno's dad is her brother. So Frank Bruno's Dominican and Jamaican.
Yeah.
So my gran is his auntie, and his dad is her brother.
And Frank was a classic guy, man.
That's the thing.
Classic
but the thing
guy
is, when
for that generation, a classic guy.
That's the thing. When my great grandmother died, I remember when I was little, he flew us all over to Dominica, and then to go to the funeral or whatever. But like literally, I would have taken that name because from my gran, but she had a name from marriage, and that's what I had from when she was married. So I didn't know who the guy she was married to in it because they divorced. My gran would have been like 50, 60, but the guy died years ago. So then when I met my dad, I was like, yo, the weirdest thing is like, if I didn't meet you right now, I was like, you just wouldn't exist. In my mind, I was like, my dad wouldn't exist. I was like, if I didn't meet you, I would literally go my whole life without having nothing. I was like, I don't really want nothing from you. I don't want nothing from you or nothing like that. I was like, but the name thing I want. I said, I want the name. I want your name because it makes me feel like I have something from you in it. Because obviously, I want no dad figure. I don't want a father or nothing like that. Like I don't really want to build a relationship with nothing like that. Yeah. But I'll take the name in it because obviously that's something I can keep. And if anybody goes, where you from? I say, that's in Castillo. Yeah. And I got my biological mum and my dad. They went, signed a deed poll or whatever, and then got my name Castillo. So that's actually my real name in it. So when people go,
But you had it late. You came to it late.
Yeah, came to it late in it. So, but the thing is, like,
even though you had a fucked up situation, like a fucked up, biological parent situation, you still were raised in a loving home with your grand stepping up and doing the right thing, man. So you were raised in a good home, even though the biological side was messed up.
I raised like the funniest thing with me and my gran. Like the thing is, because she's my grandmother, like she had to work from like when it's way past. So like literally, when we lived in she came back to Dominica and it was super fucking poor. Like I used to steal people's like toys and steal people's shit, go to people's house, make friends with people, steal their shit, and then come back home. And then one day she came home and she saw that shit in the room and she was like, she called over the people and she said, he's been stealing from all of you. And that told me my lesson, like, yo, she embarrassed me in front of the whole area in it. So then when I came up here, I was living in like bed and breakfast in it, like sleeping. I was lit with it, so I was sleeping in bed together with my gran or whatever. And then I think the council eventually gave us a place. We lived in Southall, in Gurnell, and all these. So the last place I lived obviously is like Gurnell Estate in it. So Gurnell Estate is like where I'm from. Like lived there. I would say my address, 66 Falcon House in it, 10th floor. Yeah, like that's where I lived in, and that's like that's where I'm from in it. So it's like, it wasn't easy because obviously it's just my mum in it, obviously my gran. So it was harder for her because she didn't retire till she was like 80 something.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm just saying? But only because of me. So like literally only because she had to do that, and obviously, if she didn't do that, I'd just be in the system in it. So like literally,
it's amazing how grands step up.
Of course, 100%.
It's amazing. Like
100%.
They've done their bit as a mother, and then they have to do it again when they really, their children and their grandchildren should be taking care of them, man.
And the maddest thing is like, with that comes everything else that you got to witness in it. So like obviously I didn't have no dad or nothing. So like you kind of got there's only so much a mum can do. But it's my gran in it. She's older, so obviously she can't like monitor you too tough. So I could just do anything I want. She just said, just don't get nobody pregnant. That's it. She's like, just do what you want. Just don't get nobody pregnant. And like stay away from all the mad shit in it. So obviously I've got loads of virgins that's doing all that mad shit. And then at some points I was doing some mad shit, but at the same time it's like just on a respect level. I was like, you can only go so far with it, because at the end of the day, like, this person didn't really have to raise you. This person had to do nothing for you. She could have told you.
Just let you get lost.
Just, you know what I'm trying to say. But the maddest thing about that is, it's like, with that comes, you got to like learn to be your own man in it. Like, you got to start doing things. You got to start learning from somewhere in it. So I just started learning from myself. So like, even when it comes to like work and all that shit, like I was just like, it was hard for me because when I went to school, I didn't really concentrate on school. So then after school, like I was just fucked because I had a little bit of qualifications, but shit, I couldn't really do much with it. So then I started doing like nightclub bouncing, like for work and all that shit. And the maddest thing is, I even used to work like about 3 years ago. This when I was like, I need to change something. That's when I started doing the music thing, like, and the whole inspired Instagram videos. Basically, I was just in a shit situation. I couldn't get no jobs, handing out million CVs, couldn't get no job, nothing.
You know
and it wasn't nothing to do with this or nothing, no tattoos, nothing. So I said, you know what? After I couldn't get none of that shit, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, bruv. I was like, do that. Like I had everywhere else tattooed. I was like, bruv, fuck it. Now I'm gonna be forced to do something, innit? I'm gonna have to force to do shit for myself. Teeth, I had fucked up teeth, so then I got all gold in it. So I was like, fuck it. But then the maddest thing about that, you have to deal with like the consequences of like all of that shit in it. So then obviously, it's like, then I was like, yo, you got to do your own thing in it. Like if you want to make money, you got to do your own thing. So I was doing events, doing everything. I was doing trying music, but then to fund all that shit, I would literally just be doing the shittest job. So like I was working like 3 years ago for Blue Arrow. They're around Hammersmith.
Delivery?
No. Kitchen porter. Like 9 hours.
Like an agency?
Agency, yeah. So like 9 hours.
So you could be anywhere?
Anywhere, yeah. So like I've worked fucking Charing Cross Hospital, fire station, St. Paul schools, like schools like literally $6.70 an hour basically kind of thing. Washing like 9 hours a day with like the big pots. Just washing that shit out, scrubbing that shit out, doing all that shit. 9 hours a day just to fund what I'm trying to do. So music, studio, all of that shit. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like I was literally just going nuts. I was actually going fucking crazy because I was thinking to myself, this is how you know it's mad, yeah, when you go somewhere and you're like the only black British person there and everybody knows that what the fuck did you do to be here?
Yeah, exactly.
That's, everybody's thinking that
exactly.
shit. It's kind of like, you know when you go KFC and if you see a white man in KFC, you're like, yo, what the fuck, why are you in here, bro?
Yeah,
like,
unless you own it.
Yeah, of course. But if I see a white man in KFC, I'm like, yo, I don't know what you went through, bro, but you're going through some shit right now because you don't need to be here.
You should be a little bit more ahead.
That's what I'm trying to say. And then I thought to myself,
this entry level.
That's what I'm trying to say. So then when I was there, and I was in the Blur thing, and people would come up to me like, why the fuck you here? Like, what are you doing this? I'm like, bro, this is all I can get. I was like, apart from security, like, I was like, this is all I can get in it. And I was like, but it's not just what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do other shit.
Obviously.
But then at the same time, it would be like I said, 9 hours, $6.70. So at the end of the day, after the 9 hours or whatever, you might take in like £70, £60.
And you might get your lunch free.
No, you didn't get your lunch free. You can't get your lunch free. You got to pay for that shit. So then, like, literally, if you try to like get that free, they'd like snitch on you, be like, yo, you're trying to get like free lunches and that. But so then, even after you get that money, you still ain't got no money. So then imagine,
no money at all.
No money. So imagine at the end of the week after working, let's say I do 3, and that shit will hurt your hands in it. So you can't be doing that shit every day. But like literally, say I do that 4 days in the week, I get like £150, for the week or whatever. My studio thing is like, to make one song to buy the beat, that's like 500 in itself. So then I'd work all that shit just to give it away on studio. And that song didn't blow up, song didn't do nothing. Start again, try and make a music video, don't do nothing. Start again.
So really you were just going for broke, baby. You were just going
all
out for broke.
And literally I was going nuts because there was some point when I literally just got to the point like, you know what, I don't really give a fuck about nothing. Like I said to myself, I don't care about nothing. And that's when I knew I was going mad. Like that's when I knew I was going mad because I said to myself, I would do anything right now to get money. Like obviously I'm not selling my batty and that, I'm like Willie on roadside and all that, but I literally said, this is how crazy I got, because at the time, like I'd moved, so then I was living in a place where it was a room and like literally there was like maggots on the floor, like you couldn't shower because there was like cobwebs and all this different type of shit. So I was going mad, so my whole life was just shit. And I was literally saying to myself, yo, I don't know what it was, it's like I'm a nice person in it, but then when you get to that point, you just start being you start hating everybody. So
yeah,
like,
well, you're mad at the world.
So many times when
you're mad at yourself, you're mad at the world.
Everything is yourself. So then I started going out just to look for problems. Like literally, I wanted people to start saying with me. I was literally like that. I was like, I wish somebody started saying with me right now. I really wish they'd do that. Yeah, and
make you feel better.
Yeah, and a few times as well. It's like, I know it sounds fucked up to say this, yeah, but I said this somewhere else as well. Like, you're happy for people to do well at the same time, even people that you know. But when you see people that you know doing better than you, it's like you hate it. So it's like you could congratulate them. I said this somewhere exactly this. I said they could do something amazing, and I'd be like, congratulations, but I really wish you'd like get in a car accident or something. Because then it's not even. I'm not.
Yeah, but that's because you got self-hate, man.
Yeah, on some mad shit.
Yeah,
so that's how I got it. And eventually,
man.
I just got to the point when on my birthday, I was just chilling in the room. Like I was like, yo. I just worked all these shifts, got fuck all. I'm sitting in this house, do fuck all. I'd like, obviously, like relationships is fucked up because with a relationship you can't take the girl out, you can't do fuck all, you want to go places, even take her out to cinema, you can't do fuck all. Yeah. And
now when you're down and out, man.
Yeah. So then the thing is, it's fucked up because then you want to be lonely because at the same time you don't want to bring somebody in.
No, you're not in a good place.
But then what ended up happening was eventually I just thought, you know what, fuck all of this. I was like, I don't care no more. And I was literally just went on my phone. I just did a video, and I was like, I don't care what people think about me. I was like, I really hate myself right now. I don't care what people say about me. I did one video, and that's the one that got 1 million on the Facebook. I did the Fresh Mangoes and Willie thing where I said, your girl going to Jamaica, and then it's fucking with Jamaican dudes or whatever. I did that, and it went viral or whatever. I did another one and went viral, and then that's it, literally, bam, that's it. And then literally, that just became the thing. So like literally from there, people literally just would like pay me for stuff. Like, yo, can you do this, shout out this, pay me for that. I'm like, yo, all of this shit just from Instagram. So I went from all that shitty situation, sent it all around just from Instagram.
For real. Yeah. But it probably took that low moment for you to find yourself.
Yeah. 100%.
And to get that, like that overview that you have, that hard overview, like that overstanding of the game that people really want, man.
Do you know what the maddest thing is?
You had to be there to get that understanding, the overstanding.
I had an anxiety problem in it when I was little. I was proper like anxious about everything. I was like, because I used to be really fat, and then I started boxing. I started boxing because I didn't like myself. I thought I was unattractive in it, so I said to myself, I started boxing. I said, who gives a fuck about my face? I don't care about it. I was boxing at like 17. I was boxing in Hanwell School of Boxing, and at the time I was like 17 stone in it. So I was like boxing heavyweights. I'm only 5'9", so I was like boxing big ass dudes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, it's so weird. It's like, that's what I really wanted to do until the trainer said to me, he goes, you're fighting like these big dudes, and he goes, but this is not your weight. So he said, lose some weight in it. So then I went that summer, I lost like about 4 or 5 stone, went from like 16 to like 11. Wow. And then after that I was like, yo, fuck this shit.
Fuck this shit. I get my nose.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But the funny thing is, like, the funniest thing I said, fuck all this shit, but I had like a mad anxiety problem in it. So like literally, like all of that stuff, when it comes to the videos, that's why I was just kind of like, it was hard for me to come out my show. So when people see me now and they're like, yo, I like your things and I like what you're doing, I'm like, yo, this shit took a long time just for me to get on the thing where I could even talk shit. Because before, I didn't like cameras, I didn't like people taking pictures of me or nothing like that. I just didn't like that in it. But now it's kind of like people know me just off personality. From someone that didn't fuck with that shit at all. Yeah.
I mean, like, yo, man, a hard journey though. Let's up front, man.
It's like I know this is gonna sound so random. It's like that dude, like fucking Mike from Love Island.
Right.
Like I think he committed suicide like a few days ago. If you watch Love Island, and then like 3 days ago. The maddest thing is, if you go on that guy's Instagram, he looks so happy. Like he looks like everything's going perfect in his life, but he's going through a lot of shit. And then when I looked at that, it kind of made me sad because I was like, that shit is like, I can relate to that so many times, because there's like so many times back in the day when I was just looking at myself, thinking about like, there's no point of me being here. Like there's no point. Like literally, I'm like, ain't making no money, can't provide for nobody, can't do fuck all for nobody, can't do any, can't even take care of myself. So I was like, what's the point of being here?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys have that shit where you have all this other shit and you feel like you have to put on a front for everybody else, and inside like you're thinking like your life is shit in it. So like, I feel like that thing, when I heard about that the other day, I was like, I can relate to that so much, because I was like, at one point, if it wasn't for the Instagram videos, I'd probably either do a madness to somebody or I'd have just off myself, because I literally thought to myself, what the fuck is the point of just being here? So like, the Instagram stuff is mad, because it's like, although I was just chatting shit on Instagram, just that little thing changed my whole life in an instant. Just making a little 1 minute video changed my whole life completely. Now it's like I go Brum, I can go like anywhere in London, like I see people like, yo, it's you, people buying merchandise or whatever, people paying me to do different things, and I'm like, yo, literally like 3-4 years ago, I was literally just in a fucking, in the kitchen port, kitchen port thing, like cleaning pots and pans and shit like that, in like a school and a fire station, and doing all this mad shit, and I'll just be thinking to myself like, yo, that's good. That's just for this Instagram shit, like, thank God for that shit, because I would have been fucking nuts.
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
Amazing. And from that we can see like why you are, why you are the way you are, man. You're understanding the game, man. Your pimp game is intense.
You got, bruv, like literally what I think, it's like the human thing is all, it is what it is, isn't it? But at the same time, it's like, you have to have something. If your shit is fucked up, then you gotta have something. Like you gotta have something. Like you gotta find the funny side to it. Do you know what I mean? Even now when sometimes when I'm like, you get highs and lows in it, that's everybody. But then sometimes I'm just like, yo, like, I see people proper going through and all that stuff, and you can change it. But then at the same time, it's so easy to like fucking go so deep down in that weird path, and then like you're just out here fucking selling reggae CDs, bruv. Like, and it's the big issue, bruv. That is real life. My friend, I saw him the other day. He went nuts, and he's literally, I see him all the time, like around. Man's literally trying to sell people the big issue.
And on the real, it doesn't take many steps to suddenly hit rock bottom.
Nah, fuck no.
It can be like a couple of bad choices,
one of my
a bit of bad luck,
schizophrenic.
and next minute you're that man who's sleeping rough.
Yeah, like one of my brothers, he went schizophrenic. Like he got sectioned like last year. Just through his shit. He's got a different life to me. His life was fucked up too. But like literally, my two brothers, their life is fucked up too. Like,
and you can get caught out with the smoking that skunk.
No,
man.
no, I don't smoke no weed, bruv. I'll go nuts today.
Yeah, but like people get schizo and get sectioned or
that's why I don't
skunk,
try that shit.
man.
That's why, do you know what the matter? I drink, but I don't smoke because literally I just feel like, bruv, like all it takes is this like one thing and man's just gonna be out here running around naked with my dick out, bruv. Like,
for real,
just looking nuts.
Yeah, looking crazy.
Yeah, so like literally, I think to myself, I'm not even touching that shit, bruv. And I get enough people on my Instagram trying to sell me weed, bruv. I'm like, bruv, I'll take one puff of that and get schizophrenia, bruv. I'm good with that.
Yeah, they'd be fucking up people, man.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like now they got new weed, bruv. I see somebody got the blueberry muffins, bruv. I don't know what the fuck kind of weed that is, bruv. I saw somebody smoking monkey dust, bruv. Like literally, I went to Stoke-on-Trent, bruv. I swear down, I saw people smoking monkey dust. That shit will make you lose your mind, bruv, and your clothes. It's mad.
Yeah, some fake weed, man.
Fake weed. That's like synthetic weed, isn't it? Obviously, it's spice.
Yeah,
spice. Yeah, fuck all of that, bruv.
Yeah, that will send you crazy.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? I saw one video on Instagram, like these man in prison smoking that spice. They put the dude in a washing machine, bruv. I'm like, yo, your mum went through a whole 9 months of labour for you to be in a washing machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Bruv. Do you know what I mean? That's real life. Then I saw two dudes. They was on leashes in jails. They were like, the one jail dude had him on a leash. And the other guy had the guy on a leash, and they were literally trying to bite each other like dogs. Don't do drugs, bruv. Don't do drugs.
Yeah,
real
man.
life, bruv. You'll be out here, blood, selling your willy on the roadside, bruv. Sucking dick for money. Know that. Get me?
Yeah, for real, man. And we're not many. It doesn't take a lot of steps to get down that low,
That's what
man.
I'm trying to say. Like the maddest thing is like. As weird as I seen my dad like high on crack, like literally just in general. One time I was walking years ago when I met him, I had like a girlfriend in it, and like literally we were walking, and then I just saw him on the road just like that, and then he called me, and I was like, and I just carried on walking. I know it sounds fucked up to do that. I just carried on walking like I didn't know. The girl said to me, "Who's that?" And I was like, "I don't know that dude, bro. He's a crackhead." And I just carried on walking. That's my dad, obviously, innit? But he was just fully just on crack. He started talking about Jamaica and shit. I'm like, "Bruv, you ain't from Jamaica, bruv. What are you talking about?" But I just kept it moving. Like, yeah. I see him sometimes around, like, Shepherd's Bush and shit. Like, years ago, I used to see him around Shepherd's Bush. And, like, he just asked me for money. And I just keep it moving.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
But the thing is, I know it sounds fucked up to say that,
one.
but at the same time, it's like, although he's my dad biologically, he's just like a regular dude to me, innit? It's like, I meet another guy.
Yeah, he means nothing, man.
Yeah. But I feel deep saying that, but at the same time, it's one of them ones where I don't know him like that, innit? So it's weird to see it, because then I look at it like, yo, it's that easy. But I still feel bad for him, because I don't know what you went through in your life to end up like that, innit? So I don't want it to seem like I'm like fucking hating him or whatever, but it's just one of them ones where I don't know what he went through, and that's why I can't hate him, and that's why I can't dislike him. I mean, especially because I went through all this mad shit, and I could have gone a bit nuts as well, so I can't really dislike somebody for their path or whatever they did, innit? Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, and that crack is a fucking monster.
Real talk. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's the maddest thing. Why do people smoke now? People don't smoke crack no more, innit?
No, people do.
Still.
That's
Same
mad. Way, yeah.
That's like some old school shit. Like.
Yeah, that's old school shit, but a lot of people still do, man.
I know enough people with heroin and spice.
Yeah,
that's
no.
If you go Birmingham City Centre, there's enough people on heroin and spice, bro. Like, but if you go like, I don't know too many people on crack. That's how you know you're
crack
fucking nuts.
Crack is
that's like £50, you know, bro.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money for crack. There's a lot of benefit money, bro.
Yeah. And you got to do a lot of robberies and burglaries.
And sucking dicks.
Fucking, yeah.
You know what
I mean, hard stories, man. I mean,
Big Man Ting. Change your life, bruv. Turn it around. You know what I mean? You're just one step away, bruv, and you're gonna be out here in this Shepherd's Bush High Street, bruv, selling your bum.
Now,
Big Man Ting.
Big Man Ting. Now, talking about Big Man Ting, I'm not a guy who does really, a lot of that dating shit. It's not
Seriously, never been on a dating website?
Never.
Tinder?
I would love to go on there.
Tinder?
I would love to go on Tinder.
Do you know what?
I think it'd be shameful if I was.
No, bruv, I think you do good on Tinder, you know. White men do sick on Tinder, bruv. White dudes do sick on Tinder, bruv. I read it on a little survey, bruv. They say white dudes are killing it on Tinder, bruv. With black dudes,
should I change my name? I was thinking change my name to like Thor.
No, you could do that, but
like
then
the West London
but
Thor.
then they'll know exactly why. They'll think like you're taking a piss.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But like, you could have enough things on Tinder, yeah. For black dudes, we got to go through that.
But wouldn't that look
process.
crazy? Wouldn't that look a bit crazy if I was on Tinder?
It would do.
Or would it look crazy?
No, but do you know what?
So especially if you screen grabbed it.
I'll tell you a way to finesse it, yeah. Tell people straight up you're going on Tinder. Just say it. Because then that way, if you get caught on it, yeah. Like, yeah, I'm on Tinder. Like, if you're just like, yo, if you're just out here like, yo, Tim Westwood, like bare followers and that, and you're just on there and somebody screenshots like, yo, Tim, what you doing out here, bro?
I'm on Tinder.
That's what I'm saying. But if you told them straight away, like, yo, I'm going on Tinder, nobody's going to say shit to you. But the maddest thing is, yeah, Tinder's nice, yeah, but if you want to get like the baby mums, like, it's POF, plenty of fish. Like, I used to go on plenty of fish to get older things.
Is baby mums your thing?
I just liked older things, innit? So, like, literally, when I was younger, I only used to like older yardie chicks. Like, 40, like, I like the age.
How many
of,
kids? Many.
Didn't matter. Like, so, like, literally.
And baby fathers didn't matter?
No, I don't know. I don't even ask about
Sorry,
that shit. But I literally just date people like 40s, innit? That used to be my thing, is 40s. Maddest thing is, real life story. Yeah, I'm not even going to say on this thing, but basically, I used to link someone that's my friend's baby mum's mum. So my friend's baby mum, yeah, her mum, I used to link her mum. But that was my thing. It wasn't even like I was trying to finesse or gold dig. I generally just like older things. Like, I think their bodies look better. I like little spider veins and varicose. But that shit looks sexy as fuck, man. I'm not even lying to you. I like the fucking, bro, literally, she was thick in it. So like one time she wore these shoes and it just crammed her, she had cankles, bro. That shit was sexy. You can see the veins and shit, bro. That shit was sexy. I like that shit. Bruv, that was my shit.
I respect it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and the thing is, even in weight as well, like, got to be like 14 stone plus. Yeah, I don't like it.
Big girl thing.
Do you know what? 12. If you're like a big 12 stone, nice.
Like 14, 16 dress size.
Yeah, but like I'm saying like you're 12 stone. That's like athletic as well. But like I like 12 stone. But my thing is I like 14 stone to like about 16 stone.
So like thick set.
Thick, everything thick.
Thick.
Everything thick. I don't like skinny things.
Not slim thick, but thick.
Thick, like big. I like big girls. Obviously curvy and that, but big.
Big girls is your thing. I respect
no.
that. See, I'm a skinny dude, man, so big girls has never been like I can't, it's always been a problem.
The funniest thing is, I think I used to link something that you probably know. I've seen her one time. She was in a rave and she was right near the booth. I reckon you know her. I'll show you a picture. I used to link her years ago. But she's a slim thing, innit? But I'm not really into the sling thing. Do you know what? I need to see like stretch marks. I need to see cankles. Yeah, blood.
Stretch marks, tats.
Tats is nice. It depends what kind of tats.
I have my name under other tats.
What do
so
you mean?
like chicks have put my name on their back, but then had to cover it with another tat.
You serious?
Yeah.
Fuck. Did you make them get that, or did they just be like?
No, suddenly I'll come back with a really bad fucking TIM on your back.
You fucking sick. That's mad.
That's mad. Yeah.
Were they chicks that you were seeing, or just chicks?
Obviously.
Fucking hell. You're a sick guy, Tim. I know.
Well, I think that's enough game for one day.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's enough for one
I've got
day.
to come back.
Yeah, but I think for one day that's enough game.
100%. How long we been here? I feel like we've been here the whole day. How long have we been here?
I think, and also, I mean, I grew up around pimps.
Yeah.
So I can really relate to a lot of stuff you're saying, man.
100%.
Like, yo,
That's the
I
thing.
like when I came into this game as a, like, you know, up and coming dude, back then, I was surrounded, like working in the West End, at places like Gossips.
Yeah.
As the resident there, like, yo, that pimp game I can understand, man. Because I was of that era where the guys wore the big hats and looked like, dressed like they're out of a Shaft movie. You know, up at the People's Club.
Okay.
I was around like, you know, real hustlers in those
You've seen
days.
real life pimps.
Real life pimps. Real
Fucking
life
hell.
pimps.
How do they treat the chicks though? Generous?
Like, no, mean.
So then is that really game then? What they're doing?
They had it under control. They had it well under control.
But do you think they really have it under control?
They did then. In that era, they had it well under control.
Or do you think it's because they're dependent? The chicks are dependent?
I think they had it under control, fam.
Fuck it. You think that could happen now?
No. Those days are done, fam. Those old school days are done. Those old school days are done. Yeah. I fully support that. Those days are done.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, man.
It's true.
But it was a different era, man.
Fucking hell.
Thank you for your time today, fam.
Anytime,
Nice hanging,
Tim.
man.
Anytime.
Yeah, man. Look forward to hanging out, man.
Yeah.
Tim Westwood TV.
Big Man Ting.